Real fur is the most misunderstood material in fashion, especially now more than ever given all the protests and the bans against it. But lucky for you, the fur goddess is here with facts and receipts about all the lies we've been told to believe when it comes to fur. But before I uncover all these lies, it has come to my attention that so many of you are enjoying my content but are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you hit subscribe and join the real material community. Now, let's get going to all these lies. The number one lie that we've all been told on repeat is that fake fur is more sustainable than real fur. How is fake fur more sustainable? How? Because it's literally made out of petroleum. It is acrylic, nylon, polyester, all of these materials that do not biodegrade, that serve no value besides sitting in a landfill for thousands of years. So how is that sustainable compared to a real fur coat that, by the way, keeps you warm, looks super stylish, you can pass it down, and if one day you wanted to repair it or restyle it or upcycle it, there are so many ways that you can have this material with you for so many years, which is why it is the definition of sustainability. Can we say the same thing about fake fur? I don't think so. So how is fake fur more sustainable than real fur? The second lie that we're told to believe is that real fur is cruel. And this lie is probably the loudest and the most simplified because it removes all the nuance around it. The truth is, there is a difference between mass production and regulated sourcing. There is a difference between industrial fashion and heritage practices. For example, wildlife management is not random. Wildlife management actually serves a purpose to make sure our ecosystems are balanced. It is actually cruel to leave animals to overpopulate, drive themselves into starvation and diseases. We actually have a role to play in our ecosystem to make sure everything is balanced. Oh, and that brings me to indigenous fur, which is not trend-based. Indigenous fur is tied to culture, survival, and honoring the entire animal, where nothing is wasted and everything has a purpose. And then comes vintage fur, which is something that already exists, and if we're reusing it, that is the definition of circular fashion. Then there is fur farming, which in countries like Canada operate under very strict regulations. Did you know that animal welfare laws exist in every province in Canada? With fur farms operating under those frameworks, with licensing, oversight, and required standards to be met. It is literally the law. Can we say the same thing about all the fast fashion companies? I don't think so. So the next time you see propaganda or lies being spread that real fur is cruel, we're gonna need to get specific here. Like, are you calling vintage fur cruel? Because that's literally the definition of sustainable circular fashion, of using what already exists. Or are you calling indigenous fur cruel, which then you're not really attacking the fur, you're attacking a whole culture that's built on survival and respecting the animal. Or are you calling animal farming cruel, which in countries like Canada operate under very strict regulations? Or are you calling fur from wildlife management cruel? Because then you need a lesson in biology on how ecosystems and the balance in food chains work. The third lie is something I see very often in my comment section, is that fur is outdated. Nobody wears fur anymore. Really? If that was the case, then why are you seeing it now? Why are you seeing it everywhere? Why are all these protests taking place? It's always been here, and if anything, vintage markets are growing now more than ever. Archival pieces are being collected again, and people who have beautiful fur coats in their closet are now restoring it instead of replacing it. I don't know if you live under a rock, but lately there's been a massive return to vintage furs. Actually, there's been an entire aesthetic built around it called the mob wife aesthetic. So I don't know if you've heard that, but yeah, it's a thing. The mob wife aesthetic is literally built on having presence, texture, and taking up space. What's really interesting is how fur just fits naturally into that. And culturally, natural fur never left. From different countries, different winters, different traditions, fur is still worn, just doesn't need to announce itself. This fourth lie about fur is something I hear often from people who actually believe in the sustainability and they know the facts, but they're so used to fast fashion prices that they just can't commit to it. So they will simply say that real fur is only for rich people. What if I told you that fashion was never supposed to be cheap anyways, because you are not supposed to be consuming new products every week, every month, every season? No, you're actually supposed to wear and rewear what you have. There is a creation called washing machine and dry cleaning. You're supposed to rewear what you already have. Real fur is meant to be an investment because it is something that you're going to wear for many, many years to come, and you could pass it down too. True craftsmanship where materials, people, and animals are respected always comes with a price, as it should. Today in fashion, we have been conditioned to expect everything instantly, cheaply, and replace it just as fast. And the reality is that real fur does not fit that fast fashion system. It was never designed to be used this way. If you wanted to experience the warmth and the beauty of real fur, you don't need to walk into a luxury boutique store for it. There is vintage fur. I myself have vintage furs, and I love them more than anything. And I love the fact that they have lived a life before me, and now they get to live a new life with me. This fifth lie actually has nothing to do with the fur and has everything to do with the projections around fur, which wearing real fur says something bad about you. Projection is when someone attributes their own thoughts, feelings, and beliefs onto someone else. And this is something that happens a lot in my comment section. So let's bring a real life example. I am the fur goddess, and I choose to wear real fur very proudly and very assertively, because I believe it is the most sustainable choice you can make in this world of faux and fast fashion. Now, let's say we meet Kayla. Sorry to all the Kaylas out there, it's just the first name that came to me. Kayla believes that real fur is cruel, thanks to all the propaganda and the lies that she's been told. But she can't really seem to get into a logical reasoning why she believes it's cruel, so now she will come and comment something like, Nora is cruel because she's wearing real fur. But that's what we call a projection. It has nothing to do with my beliefs. It has everything to do with her belief system. The statement of you are cruel and you're not compassionate for wearing real fur has nothing to do with your reality and everything to do with their belief. And that's where confidence comes in, is wearing what you want, believing in what you want, expressing it as you like, because you know yourself and you're not asking validation from anybody else. And here's your friendly reminder. You do not need permission from anyone to choose what aligns with you. Confidence doesn't come from being understood by everyone. It comes from understanding yourself. This is my list of the top 5 lies I hear about real fur. What's your list of the lies you hear about fur? I would love to hear from you. Until then, stay real, stay assertive, keep being real in a world of faux. I'll see you in my next video. Ciao.